This is a surds question to start with, part 1 and part 2. So it wants us to simplify these two surds added together. Now definitely don't write this as root 52. That does not work for surds. I'm going to delete that. No. Instead, we want to basically write root 50 as something root 2. And we can do that by realizing that root 50 is 25 times 2, where 25 is a square number. So we can write that as root 25 times root 2, because that's what we can do with surds. And so it becomes 5 root 2. So this becomes 5 root 2 plus root 2. And just like 5x plus x is 6x, like x can be anything essentially, then this becomes 5 root 2 plus root 2. We've got 6 lots of root 2. Simplify this next surd. Now this, to be honest, it looks pretty simplified already, but what it wants is the root to not be on the bottom. So it's asking us to rationalize the denominator. So we can times top and bottom by the denominator because that will sort it out. It will make it 6 on the bottom. It will become 10 root 6 divided by 6. And now I can just look for common factors. There's a common factor of 2, so the final answer is going to be 5 root 6 divided by 3. Finally, there are two errors in Sam's method for finding the value of a fractional indice. This is a minus 2/3 here. Describe the two errors and give the correct answer to 64 to the minus 2/3. So he says to first of all find the cube root of 64 and then multiply by 2. This is a mistake because the 2 does not mean multiplied by 2, it means to square it. The 2 means squaring, not multiplying by 2. Cube root of 64 is 4, that's correct, and then 4 times 2 is 8, that's also correct. The negative power makes the answer negative. No, it means reciprocal. X to the minus n is actually 1 over x to the n, and we say this is reciprocal to do 1 divided by the number. So we've answered both the mistakes. Give the correct value of 64 to the minus 2/3. Well, it's kind of guided us to what not to do. Okay, this is what we should do. First thing I would do is get rid of that negative. So write it as 1 over 64 to the 2/3. Then change it to being 64 to the 3rd all squared. Okay, because I've used the fact that a to the m to the n is equal to a to the mn. I've just done it in reverse. I've gone this way. I've written 2/3 as 1/3 times 2. I've put it in a bracket. Why have I done this? Because to raise something to the power of third is to cube root it. I think I'm going to do that over here. 64 to the 3rd is equal to the cube root of 64. And they've actually told us the answer there, and it is correct. 4 times 4 times 4, which is 4 cubed, is 64. So the cube root of 64 is 4. So it will become 1 over 4 squared. And we're there, we just need to square that 4, 1 over 16. Quite a lot going on there in these surds questions, but hopefully that makes sense.